How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and today I decided to do a very fun video. So, I have over 1,000 physical games in my game room collection, not even counting duplicate games that I've picked up along the way. And I decided to make this fun video showing off the game collections, so the set for a video game console that I own the most games for and that I own the least games for. I'm doing my top 3 and my bottom 3. And if you think that I am stealing this from a certain other YouTuber, you're absolutely right. Let's go ahead and get started. So the system that I own the third most games for is the Wii U. I own 121 games total out of 164 that were released, so I'm really close to finishing up a complete Wii U collection. I love the Wii U. I've of course have the Wii U to thank for a lot of my channel's success, thanks to, let's see if I can't find it real quick, Splatoon, which I would consider my favorite game on the Wii U. But yeah, I've just picked up a ton of Wii U games over the years. When I realized that the set was so small, I decided to go after a complete collection of it. As I said, I'm not there yet, but I have a lot, including perhaps the hardest Wii U game to get right now. Here we go. Axiom Verge, which is the only limited print Wii U game. So yeah, 121 Wii U games. My second biggest game collection is for my Nintendo 64. I have 130 games total for the N64, out of 296 that were released in North America, so I have around 40%. I actually haven't picked up an N64 game for this collection in quite some time. I was going after this really hard for a while a few years ago, and then I just had so many other things take priority. But my all-time favorite N64 game is actually Pokemon Stadium, believe it or not. I made a whole video on this if you're interested. It's how to get Surfing Pikachu. But there's also so many other great games to play on this, including, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart, there's so many great games for the N64, which is part of why I wanted to go after a complete set. Unfortunately, about a quarter of all N64 games are sports games that are not worth playing these days. But, hey, I have 130 N64 games, which makes it my second largest game collection. And finally, it should come as no surprise to you, but my largest game collection right now is for the Nintendo Switch. Currently, I own 339 games for this system, which, as you probably guessed, is actually more than the Wii U and the N64 combined. I love the Nintendo Switch. I love collecting all the games for it. There's so many games worth playing. The Switch is just an insanely great system. I can't stop getting all the games. And that's not just my North American games. It includes my limited print games, my Japanese games, my European exclusive games, everything. I have 339 games and a few duplicates and a few physicals, like for example Overwatch here, which you buy the game at full retail, zero cartridge, but I got all sorts of extra doodads. 339 is just the number of unique games I have with a cartridge inside the case, and I'm very proud of my Switch collection. I'm sure I'll hit 350 very soon here. There's over 1,000 games for the Switch right now, and so I can't even tell you what the percentage is that I have. There's just constantly new Switch games coming out every single day, but the Switch is where my heart is. That's where I collect the most games, and it should come as no surprise that that is my biggest game collection. So now are the 3 game collections that I own the least amount of games for, and I'm actually going to give myself a bit of a limitation here. You see, I have plenty of games for systems that I only own one game for the system, like Pac-Man for the Atari 5200, or Triple Action for the Intellivision, but I do not actually own those systems. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to limit myself to games that I own a system in order to play the game on. So with that in mind, my 3 lowest games are as follows. So my third smallest game collection is actually for the GameCube. I only own 10 games total for the GameCube. I'm missing a lot of the heavy hitters, including Mario Sunshine, Mario Kart Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, Metroid Prime. I'm missing a ton of games, but hey, at least I have Melee and Pokemon Box, because that's a must-own game for every GameCube player, am I right? I don't know what it is about the GameCube, I just don't care for it that much. It's just, it's like I love the games, they look good, they play well, but it's just not where my heart is, and I don't exactly know why. So, as a result, I just haven't gone after that many GameCube games. In fact, I think since I started collecting games over the past few years, I've only picked up maybe 3 total. All the rest of them are just ones that I've had since I was a kid. My second least owned game collection is actually for the original Game Boy. To specify, I do own a ton of Game Boy Color games, and a lot of them do work on the original Game Boy. But games that were specifically made with the original Game Boy in mind, so that the ones that have the Game Boy label on it instead of Game Boy Color, I only own 9 games total, and one of those is Pokemon Green from Japan. So for North American Game Boy games, I only own 8. 3 of those are Pokemon. So yeah, I love the original Game Boy, but I guess I don't have that much nostalgia for non-Pokemon games on the platform. And yeah, that's pretty much why I own so few Game Boy games. I would love to own more in the future. I'm sure that I will, but for now, I only have 9, kind of 8 for the Game Boy. And finally, the lowest game count for a system I own, 1. Iron Soldier for the Atari Jaguar. Now, I would love to own more Jaguar games, but there's a mixture of reasons why I don't have more. The Jaguar is a great system that I love a lot. However, there weren't that many games made for it. In fact, right here I am holding 2% of the entire library. There were only 49 games total for the Jaguar. I own one of them. That's 2% of the library right there. As opposed to like the Wii, for example, where there were 1,000 games for it. So if I don't even own 20 games for the Wii, so yeah, I own more of a percentage of the Jaguar library than the Wii. The other thing is, most of the games I want to play are expensive, especially like Tempest 2000. It's gotten to be a pretty expensive game now. There's a lot of Jaguar games that I look at and I think, yeah, I'd love to own it. Then I go to eBay, check the price, and I think, I don't need to own it. So, for now, for a system that I own, Iron Soldier, Jaguar, the lowest count game collection I have. Along with a lot of these other ones that I own 1 game of for a system that I don't own. So that wraps up this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as I said, I own over 1,000 games for all kinds of different systems. I own something like 50 NES games, I own 24 SNES games, I own plenty of Genesis games, everything. I have a little bit of everything, so if you want to see more of my collection, please let me know in the comments. Let me know how many games you own for your favorite system, and I'm looking forward to making more videos like this. And as I said, yes, I 100% stole this from a certain other YouTuber. Which one?